everyone, your beautiful caregiver, Beauty Affair. So still on the child care, I've also realized one thing about caring for children. Children don't necessarily want you to do everything for them. They just need assistance. And in fact, that is the main thing that a caregiver or whoever that is caring for someone is supposed to do. You're not supposed to make the person feel solely dependent on you by making them build their confidence in you by just assisting them in their daily activities. So it's the same as caring for a child or even the elderly. You're not supposed to let them feel like they are able to do certain things. Something like washing of hands, eating and stuff like that. It's true. When kids are eating, they mess themselves. They try to, slam their body with the food and everything. But that's fine. The worst case scenario is you clean them up and we move on. So the same thing, you know, unlike the elderly, that sometimes it's a bit difficult for them to, move their hands because of old age illnesses and maybe stroke or other terminal diseases that make them unable to actually feed themselves. So you have to assist. But even with that, we are taught to help them to even try to learn to eat on their own. So with the childcare, I realized that there are cases where you try and even feed a child, then they'll be so resistant. Like, hey, no, I want to feed myself. And immediately you leave them, you see them trying to scoop, even though sometimes they'll be fighting with the food, they are scooping and the food is just moving around, but still, you could see them trying to feed. And it's a very good activity. It helps them build their muscles, the strength in their muscles, which also helps them to learn to even write and also build their confidence in other daily activities. So the same thing even in the classrooms when they are outdoor playing. Don't always feel like, oh, my child, you're afraid he will get hurt. I'm afraid my child, he will choke or something. No, true. There are certain things you have to be precautious of. So you have to just apportion the food in such a way that when a child is trying to scoop one spoon, it could easily fit and it can chew or swallow such that the child will not choke. At the same time, you should also be nearby so that when there is any case of alarm, you could quickly rush in to care for that child. So it's very necessary to allow the child to build their confidence by letting them do certain things on their own. And just cheer them on. If they make mistakes, don't make them feel like, hey, you've done something really wrong. Just try and encourage them that, oh, don't worry about this. You'll do better next time. And when we see the Western culture and our African settings, the Western people are always, trying to give more freedom to their children. And it helps them boost their confidence much more than we are in the African settings where when your child does something small, maybe they are washing plates and one plate just falls. Hey, tell me, Kanye, why are you just breaking the plate? This is my favorite plate and all that. Yeah. When you do that, you scare the child completely. They'll never want to even come close to you when you're, doing house chores because they know that, hey, if I go and help mommy and the plate falls, I'm in trouble. But, some other culture, fine. It's not like we are trying to say that you should allow them to do all the messy stuff. You just have to be around to assist them. You shouldn't also leave them solely on themselves because accidents do happen. We can't predict when it will happen. But you being around will help to prevent, all these unforeseen circumstances. So this is the bit I'll share for today. Keep watching my page, like, follow, and share. Your beautiful caregiver, Beauty Affair. Bye.